Alright, this is XCOM. Let's play on Classic. Do I care about the... I mean, sure. We'll have the tutorial on for anybody who's not familiar with this game, just so you can understand what the heck we're doing. Okay, we're gonna turn on all the DLC, Progeny, and Slingshot, which are really just single maps for the most part. We'll leave the beginner voiceovers on again so that new folks who don't understand the game can understand. We're gonna play an Iron Man, which basically means that you can't save. You can't reload previous saves, I should say. So whatever happens is permanent. If we lose a squad member because I'm stupid, then they're dead. We can't save scum them back into existence. There we go. I've never had a problem with Iron Man mode. I don't think there's really anything here that I necessarily want. I just sort of want to play the base game here. I do kind of like the idea that random stats. This is fine. I think I'm fine without any second wave options. Okay, let's start.
In light of the recent extraterrestrial incursion, this Council of Nations has convened to approve the activation of the XCOM project. You have been chosen to lead this initiative, to oversee our first and last line of defense. Your efforts will have considerable influence on this planet's future. We urge you to keep that in mind as you proceed. Good luck, Commander.
Ah! Spooky.
That was the last transmission, sir.
Patch me through to Voodoo 3-1.
You were being deployed to Germany. At 1900 hours Zulu, several unidentified objects fell to Earth. After ruling out the possibility of a downed satellite, we now believe these objects to be extraterrestrial in nature. Shortly after impact, German officials received reports of mass hysteria and freak weather around one of the impact zones. Then things went dark. At 2100 hours, A chopper carrying a German military recon team went down in the area after they reported being fired upon. As you know, Germany is a member of the Council, and they have requested our assistance. Our mission is to assess the situation on the ground, ascertain the current status of the German recon team, and investigate the extraterrestrial objects. Central out.
Okay. So this is just the tutorial. I can't change anybody's stats or name until they become squatties.
This is Big Sky. Looks like we found the crash site.
Roger, Voodoo 3-1. Any sign of activity?
Negative. Nothing's moving down there.
Okay. Set her down nearby.
Okay, how's the sound? Is it, well, I guess when we start firing upon things, it'll become a little more clear on how if it's too loud or too soft.
Central, you getting all this?
Copy that, Delta Squad. First things first. Let's get you out of the open and into cover. Whatever did this could still be out there. Delta 1, take point. Take cover behind that debris directly in front of you.
Can you rotate the camera? Maybe I'm not allowed to yet. So, it's the tutorial. It only lets you do what it wants you to do. But basically, each of your soldiers has 2 actions. You can see they've got the 2 bars here. So, you can do really anything on your first action. So it's really just understanding what things tend to end your turn right away and what can you... So typically you want to move first within the blue box. Yeah. The number of remaining moves is indicated on the soldier's unit flag.
Now advance to the vehicle nearby.
So typically you don't want to do 2 moves. It's typically a mistake, but again, you know, it's the tutorial. I'm going to do what they tell me to do right now.
Move up to the debris. That thing isn't going to offer you much cover, but it's better than nothing. There's full cover straight ahead. Advance to that position.
So there's differences between half cover and full cover. Depending on the enemy that you're facing, typically half cover is
move to that vehicle dead ahead.
Virtually useless.
Central, I have movement. 30 meters north of my position. Police vehicle.
Roger. Proceed to the next vehicle for a better vantage point. Delta 4, go check it out. It's a long way from your position, and there's no available cover between here and there, so you better double time it.
So you can, basically, if you do this dashing within the yellow lines, it ends your person's turn right away. So it's usually very dangerous to do.
Holy hell.
What do you see, Delta 4? Report.
Looks like one of the recon teams, sir. It looks like something...
Is that your man, Delta 4?
Negative, sir. That's someone else.
Dr. Valen, what's he saying?
He is saying, help me. That radio transmission is coming from somewhere north of the squad's current position. Based on its strength, probably from inside a structure.
Thank you, Doctor. Delta, advance and infiltrate that building. And remember, stay in cover.
The good old green police cars. All right.
Central, I got a lot of blood here.
Roger. See where it's coming.
Central, I think I just found another one of the recon team. Or what's left of him. But this doesn't make sense. Looks like he's been dead for a week.
Even more perplexing is the cause of death. It appears that he was eviscerated when something burst out of him from the inside.
Sir, I have visual on the object. Permission to approach.
It's the only cover between you and that building. Permission granted. Talk to me, soldier. What is it?
I got no idea what this thing is, but I can confirm that it's no satellite.
Roger. All right, Delta Squad. You're almost to the building. Keep moving. Okay, people. Now let's get inside. Delta 1, there's a window in front of you. Let's take a look.
I'm just doing exactly... Again, it's the tutorial.
Looks clear.
But it's just to show you how to move once, twice.
Get in there and get to cover.
Or to dash. It's a huge mistake to
Delta
dash.
2, that door's in our way. Take it down.
Or to move twice without moving your other soldiers. Don't take cover on it, you madman. Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of subtly telling you that these things are safe to approach when you're in a combat situation. They don't do anything harmful anymore. You can just go up next to them.
Central, we have eyes on the target. He's armed.
Copy, Delta 3. Okay, everyone. Get into position nearby, but do not approach. Doctor, see if you can communicate with him. Tell him to drop his weapon.
I will try. Hallo, können Sie mich hören? Wir sind hier, Ihnen zu helfen. Bitte lassen Sie Ihre Waffen fallen. He appears to be in shock.
It's a pretty creepy opening.
Open, people. I don't like the looks of this.
So, also by pointing out, by dashing every time like this, you have no opportunity to actually attack. So that's bad.
Delta
bad
3,
move.
Move in and disarm him. Carefully.
Sorry in advance, Delta 3.
Delta 3 is down!
Rookie Ivanov, no! Yeah, this is why you don't dash, you idiots.
He's down! Delta 1 is down!
Central, we're taking fire from multiple X-rays.
This guy's got me pinned down, taking heavy fire.
Damn it. Delta 2, you're flank 2. Find some better cover.
This is not where I'd choose to go, considering this guy is still right behind us, but I guess the game is forcing me to do it.
All right, Delta 2. Weapons free. Get ready to fire.
We've done it. First enemy down.
Delta 4, you're freed up to move. Get out of there and get into cover.
Okay.
Now toss your grenade at the enemy in front of you.
Grenade's very powerful in this game. Very, very powerful. It's guaranteed damage no matter what cover the enemy's in.
Now get ready for their counterattack. Look out, Delta 4. There's another one coming in behind you. Damn it.
Look out! We know you can't do anything because of the nature of the gameplay.
Look around for a position where you can flank the enemy.
Okay, yeah, now I can rotate the camera.
That's it. You have a clear shot from that position. Fire.
So you know that, basically you can see where it goes from yellow like this. This means you have a flanking shot, which means your chance to hit is much higher. So see, 75%. For a rookie, that's not bad. And if it was not flanked, it would be much less than that. 60% chance critical also goes up exponentially when you're flanking. Even though it's 75% chance, I'm pretty sure it's a guaranteed hit anyway. Because it's the...
I think that's it. It's over.
Roger that, Delta. Secure the bodies and head back to the Sky Ranger for immediate extraction.
Okay. Oh, shit. Can I not take Asia, South America, or Africa? Okay. I'm going to assume that I can. I don't know why they're red. But typically... So there's 5 continents, right? And they have arranged between 2 and 4 countries. And as the countries have a chance of leaving the XCOM Council, you can no longer get their continent bonus. So you pick a continent bonus based on where you start. Typically, Africa is an easy pick because it's 30%. Asia is also a really, really good one because there's 4 countries, so it's a lot harder to hold on to, and you're less likely to end up getting future combat anyway. Oh, it's because I did the tutorial. Ah, man. So here's what I'm going to do. I will take UED's advice, which is to do this without... which is to go ahead and do this without Iron Man mode on. I won't load ever, but just in case my save gets hosed. That way I can restart and not use the tutorial. That way I can pick, because I would definitely pick either Asia or Africa. I will likely go with Asia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Alt F4 right now, start a new game, and turn off the tutorial so that I have access to these 3. I didn't realize that it was restricting this if you were on the tutorial, which is very silly. So, okay, let's do that real quick. And we don't really need the meld tutorial. We can skip this. Okay, here we go. So we go straight to exactly where we were, no problem. So I'm thinking either Asia or Africa. I'm leaning towards Asia. The officer training school upgrades are invaluable. You know, versus the 30% monthly funding increase is also really helpful. We could angle to try to secure all of Africa in advance so that we get this separately from future combat. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab future combat. I think this will be the best long-term investment.
Australia has sent a number of requests for assistance, so that's our next drop site. We've picked up a local broadcast indicating alien activity within a major metropolitan area. We should get down there and eliminate any hostiles.
Okay, so this sends us straight into the first mission. Unfortunately, our survivor from the tutorial is no longer part of our squad right now because we skipped the tutorial technically. Okay. So all of these guys are rookies, which means their stats are god-awful. Like, just terrible.
This is Central. You are free to engage all hostile contacts in the AO. Don't take any chances.
Okay, so you'll notice these melds. Basically, there are canisters around. It's not required to get them. It's just a helpful resource. And they're timed, though. You only have a certain number of turns where you can pick them up. But obviously, you don't want to necessarily rush. So there's some melds. We got to get over to that. We want to try to get them as soon as possible. So you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm only moving once with my squad.
Getting it done.
Basically, go to the limits of the blue move for each one. That way, if you accidentally reveal some aliens, then you have an opportunity to respond. If you can't respond, then you're probably going to get fucked. Okay.
I'm rolling.
So let's move towards the meld first.
Moving out.
This is a very dangerous way for me to start, by the way, but alas, I'm doing it.
Moving.
Okay, no aliens. Now aliens. What? It didn't even mark them as popped! So typically what happens is when you... I call it popping a pod of aliens. They're pre-placed groups of like 2 to 3 aliens around the map, and when you get close to them, it plays some music. And it goes... And then the aliens scatter. And then you might have an opportunity to respond. That actually didn't happen here, so this is one of the most bizarre starts to a mission that I've actually seen. Very strange. So we should be able to handle this. That guy, unfortunately, is panicked, so we can't really do anything here. What we could do is try to get up close with someone to throw a grenade. So moving up to half cover here is pretty much a death sentence, but we can probably kill all of these with a single grenade like this. By doing this, though, what's going to happen is the aliens, they usually drop weapon fragments. And you won't get any if you kill them with explosives. But alas, they're all clumped up, so let's do it. Okay, so she gets promoted. Hopefully she won't die, because now she's wounded. We can move up and be ready to grab the melt the next turn, considering we just killed our first pod. That is not... What just happened there? See, notice it, like, it shifted the camera and they revealed themselves, and now they move and they can take their actions. That's the difference here, and I have no idea why it did that. Okay, so let's collect the melt. I'm going to move into better... Well, none of this is really good cover. Let's back up to make sure that we're in some slightly better cover. We can't take any shots, so I'm going to put this guy in Overwatch. So Overwatch basically means if an enemy tries to move in range of this person's vision, he takes a shot. It has an aim penalty, but it's a nice way to basically put your guys on guard. So he's on Overwatch. Let's move everyone back, especially you, because you've already been promoted, so I prefer if you survive. So we're going to hunker you. Doubles cover bonus, provides immunity to critical hits, but reduces sight radius. Okay, looks good. Again, we don't have a shot on any of the aliens right now, and we don't have any good cover, so I am going to... Let's maybe try to move around and attempt to flank. And we'll go on Overwatch here. Okay, so we have an alien right up here. We could probably get a flanking shot if we move up, but that's also really dangerous. This is only 25% chance to hit. So this is where you have to start thinking more tactically. Like, I could move up into half cover, which is going to be extremely dangerous if other aliens move up towards us. So we could try to move up with someone else to see if we can make sure that we are... Okay, see, these aliens are on Overwatch. Real bad start. We didn't have any vision on them. We didn't know that they were in Overwatch or anything like that. Anyway, we've got a flanking shot here. 65% for a rookie is about as good as it's going to get, so we'll take that. Let's move up here. This should give us flanking on this guy. Still only... No, 65%. Go ahead and take that, buddy. It's pretty lucky. A very lucky start, but it is what it is. It's the first mission. We already lost somebody, too, so... I think what I'm going to have to do here is inch up a tiny bit and then go on Overwatch so she can cover us from the other alien who's probably going to take a shot and kill us right now. There's an Overwatch. Rookie's going to miss the Overwatch shot. That doesn't surprise me. Lucky. Again, these first missions don't really reflect the game very well, in my opinion. So I sacrificed a rookie to get meld. Is it worth it? Kind of hard to say. So what we can do, we head over here. We can flank this guy. He's not on Overwatch. 75% chance. This might get him a promotion. Only 2. So there's a couple things we can do here. We could secure the kill with a grenade. Or we can see if we can get a better shot on him. So he's only in half cover. So what I think I'm going to try to do is get in slightly closer. That's not going to improve my chances. But what I'm going to do... She doesn't have a grenade, so I'm going to move up with Zarina and take the shot because she doesn't even have a grenade available. So at least try to get this hit. If we're lucky, coin toss. It's a miss. So rather than risking losing another squad member, I'll secure it with a grenade, even though we're not going to get any weapon fragments. But again, we're really early. With rookies, you got to take what you can get.
Good work out there, Strike One.
If I may, Commander, the labs are on high alert. Teams are standing by for your orders. We can begin researching the newly recovered artifacts immediately.
XCOM operatives lost 1 rating. Good. All right, for the people who have played that game, was that not complete bullshit? That as we moved forward, there was no indication that they were there at all? Because typically it's supposed to give you like a, hey, you've popped the pod. That was garbage.
Commander to the research labs. Commander to the research labs.
Welcome to XCOM HQ, Commander. I'm Central Officer Bradford. My role in this project is twofold: providing tactical support for our field operations, and keeping you briefed on the current situation. My efforts should allow you to focus on the bigger issues at hand. Speaking of which, we have a soldier waiting for a promotion in the barracks. I'll let you get to it.
Okay, so this is the strategic layer, where you basically have to spend as many things as possible. See, we would have 5 squaddies, and unfortunately now I only have 3. So that's actually killer. So we have assault, heavy, and support. No sniper. Okay, we'll talk about all this stuff later. Let's just level everyone up.
Commander to the research labs. Commander to the research labs.
And we'll spend time talking about all the people here later. We got a medal. Visit the barracks to designate a special capability for this medal. Rename it and award it to a soldier.
The recovered artifacts are being unloaded, and the research team is waiting your orders. We'll get started as soon as you give the order, Commander.
Okay. So we got the corpses, you get some weapon fragments. We killed 3 of them with grenades, though. Well, 4 of them with grenades, so we have fewer weapon fragments than I'd like. And then the meld. The meld is used much later.
We now honor our soldiers by awarding them medals for accomplishments you deem appropriate. You can view and award medals in the barracks.
Let's go see who's died.
Commander to the research labs.
Maxim
Commander
Semyonov,
to the research labs.
dying on the first mission to a bunch of bullshit sectoids who appeared out of nowhere and acted as if itchy trigger finger was on, but it wasn't. Tentacle trigger, whatever. So here's what we're gonna do. Again, I want to make a list of people who want to be in the squad. The only people on it right now are Sherclastic and Dracon. I don't... Stop telling me to go to the research labs. I don't care what nationality or gender the soldiers coming in by default. I don't really plan on changing those things, but I will level them up based on how you want me to assign their squad powers.
Hello, Commander. My name is Dr. Valen. I oversee the research labs. This is where all of XCOM's research and development takes place. We have already begun analyzing the artifacts recovered from our first encounter with the aliens. Based on our preliminary findings, we believe we can use them to develop some new equipment for our soldiers. With your approval, we will begin research immediately.
Okay, so we'll start some research. I don't remember which of these really matters. See, we don't have enough weapon fragments to even start one of the 2 that I'd actually want. So I guess let's do xenobiology. It's crucial that we gain a thorough understanding of the alien physiology rather, in order to develop weapons and tactics better suited to combating them.
I agree. That does seem to be the most pressing of our current research options. We'll begin immediately. I will notify you when a complete report is available.
Commander to engineering. Commander to engineering.
Ah, Commander. I was wondering when you'd be stopping by. Welcome to engineering. Anything they can dream up in the research labs, we can build it here. Speaking of which, Dr. Valen has just sent us some new schematics. With your approval, we will begin fabrication.
Okay, so we got a really rough start here, by the way. So let's take a look at our setup here. Oh, you start with a satellite uplink. That's nice. So there's a lot of things on the strategy layer. You're not time constrained by this. It's really just about how you want this to all work out. So we at least start with a satellite uplink. There's so much to talk about here right at the beginning to decide how we want to handle the base. We don't even have access to the situation room yet. But essentially, we want to get a satellite as soon as possible. So I am going to begin... we don't actually need to do that just yet. How many days does it take?
Commander to mission control.
20 days.
Commander to mission control.
Okay, so again, it's just sort of deciding how we want to do this. We want to get more satellite uplinks, and we need to get some workshops going, like, as soon as possible, which means we're going to need more power. We probably need to excavate this. Let's get that started right now. We can make workshops over here, as well as power generators. I think I'm just going to play, and you'll all kind of pick up on what's happening. I don't want to take too long just looking at stuff that isn't important at the exact moment. So basically, you get stuff set up in your strategy layer, and then you scan for activity. And this causes days to pass quickly.
Commander, we've picked up multiple requests for assistance. Abductions in progress are marked on the hologlobe.
So what's going to happen here is alien abductions happen in 3 different continents. So what's going to happen is if you, whichever one you choose to go to, the panic will not increase, but it will increase everywhere else. So basically the panic in Russia and every other European nation will increase by not going to Russia, and likewise with Africa. So the question is, we could go to Nigeria and we can get 200 money, whatever this is, 200 credits, or alternatively, I think the engineers would be really, really helpful as well. So I'm between going to either Canada or Nigeria. Obviously, we want to secure Africa, but the panic is pretty low. We may lose Europe because we're going to have some early panic there, but I don't need the scientists, so I'm not going there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to go to Nigeria, but before we do that, we're going to go to the barracks, and we're going to change up some of our people that we got. So, like I said, I don't plan on changing any of the details about the squad members besides their nicknames, and I don't think you can even change those until they're squaddies. You can't even give them a nickname till they're past squaddies. So I think what's going to have to happen here is I probably won't even customize these soldiers until they're upgraded past squaddie. So I think based on that, I think we just want to go ahead to our first mission here. We're going to have to take some rookies with us, unfortunately. But I am going to go and save the engineers. Because we need those to build a workshop, which we need to be able to build more satellites. So this whole idea with the panic is that the panic goes up to full 5, then that country at the end of the month will leave the XCOM project and you get less funding. It's bound to happen. It's virtually impossible to save everybody unless you're on a lower difficulty. Just pointing that out. So let's just go to Canada and get this started here.